Okay, Cheltenham, 205. We're just going to go in chronological order through Cheltenham. 3 mile, 1 furlong handicap chase. And give you the prices. The Hollow Ginge is 4.3. Tully Beg is 5.6. Captain Catstock is 6.8. The Wolf is 9.4. Almazar Guard is 9.6. Curse Serene is 10.5, 11.5, and Bigger the rest. We're a bit of a team steam here, so I'll let Steve make the case first of all for the horse that 3 of us fancy.
Yeah, which is Captain Catstock, who I think has got an excellent chance for a number of reasons. He likes Cheltenham. He won a hunter chase at Cheltenham a couple of years ago, but that's not really to his detriment because although obviously that is less competitive field, he was a very good horse, highly rated for Paul Nicholls before he joined Fergal O'Brien. And since he's joined Fergal, he's gone on and kicked on again because he beat the Wolf, who's also in the field, in the Edinburgh National up at Musselburgh back in February, and he followed up at Cheltenham's April meeting on good ground. And that's the two angles in, really. He does like good ground, and although I'm not far away from Cheltenham, and although it is pouring with rain now, it would need to be biblical kind of rain to change the going to soft or anything approaching it. So he's going to get his conditions. He likes the track, undoubtedly. And he's a high-class horse who, on his former form, is still incredibly well handicapped. I just think he's a standout in this race.
Charlie, you agree?
Yep, completely. Yeah, as in, Fergal O'Brien has also carried all before him all summer, and the horses show no signs of stopping. I mean, the Wolf is potentially interesting, but first run from a wind up. I mean, maybe second time, maybe next time out is the time for him, but.
I don't trust. Sorry, Charlie. I don't. The Wolf. I've nearly backed him a few times. I did at the track a couple of starts ago. I don't fully trust the Wolf.
No, I think you're completely right. I don't think anyone trusts the Wolf. But if the wind up does just help him a little bit, I think there is movement in his mark. But yeah, I'd be pretty keen on Captain Catstock as well, like Steve, for all the reasons Steve said.
So it came down for me between those two horses, the Wolf and Captain Catstock. And I remember interviewing Ollie Murphy before the Wolf ran at Cheltenham, and I don't think he fully trusts the Wolf either. But the point being that if the wind up has worked, I think he's a danger, exactly as you say. So I'm with. I think ground is all there for Captain Catstock. Should go along very nicely here, and whether or not he's going to kick on in the winter months, I don't know. But I think this is the time to have him. Steve.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's ridden by Liam Harrison, who's a really good young jockey, and we did a thing. Cornelius Lycett and Dave Yates and myself did a thing with Fergal's owners last night, and Liam was there, and Cornelius Lycett was saying to Liam, "I don't believe that you're a jump jockey," because he said that he'd never been drunk.
Now, maybe it's a new age, Steve.
It's a new age. It certainly is. But he said he'd never been drunk in his life.
Wow. Deasy could have been a jump jockey last night, couldn't you, Deasy?
Yeah. a jump jockey's evening yesterday.
It's well worth. If you can't, obviously if you can see DC, it's great, but if you can't, just imagine a man who, the eyes, they are open, aren't they? They are open.
Just about. Yeah. Well, there's bright light shining him. Anyway, look, onto the tip. The Hollow Ginge is the winner of this. I actually tipped him in this race last year, and he came second after being smashed up from a big price into, I think he went off 10.0. But he has one good run here, and it's always his first one. And this is the second year in a row now he's starting this race. He's actually rocking up here, I think, carrying 9 pounds less than he did last year because he had his one good run and then he just kept pulling up or finishing 9th or something. So I know he's a sharp price, but I look through the rest of this and I think a lot of them are pretty useless, probably from Tully Beg down. I don't see much challengers there, so I'm sticking with the Hollow Ginge mainly because if he's going to be laid out for this, he has one good run of the year, and it was in this race last year. I think he has there's nothing in there as well handicapped. His definite plan was last year, so if he can repeat that run, he should go very close, I think.
Trust me to put up a horse named after a pub or with a pub reference.
Exactly. Exactly. Maybe Dees didn't know that Hologinge is a pub reference.
He's just drawn to it.
Yeah. I didn't know. I know he's on, but the Ginger Army, I thought it was something to do with that.
Is it the Hollow Bottom? Is that the pub? Yeah. Right. Good job. It's Safer Gambling Week, not Safer Drinking Week. Right. Let's kick off. In fact, we're going to revisit the Hologinge in the Back to Lay section or the Lay section later on. Let's move on to a really interesting hurdle race. I'm going to revisit Pied Piper later on as well in the Back to Lay section. 1.98 he is. Night Salute 3.6. Dr. Parnassa 6.6. Bella Scintilla 9.4. Sawbuck 34.0. Anyone have Pied Piper as a... We're all Pied Piper. Steve, you said no bet. I'm going to revisit. Dees, do you make him a bet at that price?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I think he's... I think he should win this fairly comfortably. I think that he put up one performance there at Cheltenham last year, which was almost too good to be true. But I could see him winning this fairly closely without absolutely smashing it. I like that. It's obviously between the two of them at the top. I don't think the rest of them should be getting too close to them. But I think Pied Piper is as good as Night Salute is. There was nothing between him at the entry. Pied Piper finished ahead of him at Cheltenham. So just on that basic evidence, I think he should be beating him, and he's an alright bet at 1.9. I don't think there'll be much more in the price. I'd say the two of them will probably go off around the same price that they are now.
Charlie?
Yeah, I agree with Dees. I think he is backable at that price. I mean, I think Night Salute was very well campaigned last year, but he looked like a proper juvenile, and I would wonder whether he's going to quite go on, whereas Pied Piper looks like he has got enough scope to. The tongue strap as well. I think has he got the tongue strap on tomorrow? Yeah, he has. That they had for the first time at Royal Ascot when he ran really well behind Coltrane is an interesting addition now, jumping as well. If that brings about, helps him finish his race off a little bit better. And I think you're going to come up with the sort of, I presume, the back to lay angle possibly on Pied Piper later, Tom, as well, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, it's not opposing him as such at all, but I think he will definitely trade short. Yeah. He's such a strong challenging horse, and he's going to come on for the run, the consensus is. So I just want a bit of insurance in there. I'll come back to that in the back to lay section. Dave Kavanagh says, is Pied Piper not a soft ground horse? Interesting question. And Peter's Punt says, all in on Pied Piper. His run last year at this meeting was ridiculous. So I don't know, Steve, is he a soft ground horse? That wasn't something that had leapt out as a concern to me.
No, I don't. I mean, he handles soft ground well, obviously, but he won at the January meeting at Cheltenham on good ground, when it was probably his best performance of it was certainly his best win of last season. So I don't think you can say he's a soft ground horse. And I suppose you're going back to the fact that he won on heavy on the flat, but he also ran well on fast ground on the flat, which is a lot faster than it's going to be at Cheltenham. So I don't see that personally.
I think can Cheltenham not end up being on the slow side of good? If we had a bit of rain here yesterday. We're not far from Cheltenham. Steve says it's raining with him this morning, and I can't believe it's not going to be anything but very safe. You know, they told the trainers before declarations that it was going to be good ground, definitely, and then after declarations they said, "Oh, hang on a minute, there's a fair bit of good to firm in there," which is a bit of a surprise. But it is raining at the moment. It won't be soft. I can't imagine it'd be soft after the dry summer we've had, even with the water they're putting on. And it'll just be, like you say, good perhaps on the faster side.
Let's move on to the next. No love for Pied Piper there. Move on to the next, which is, again, listen, I'm no bet here. I thought this was trappy. I'm no bet in the last two Cheltenham races. I'll be honest, I used to never, ever have a jumps bet in October, and I certainly never used to bet at this meeting. So I'm being very hands-off this meeting. Clear the Runway is 3.55. Editor de Geet is 4.7. Dad's Lad is 4.7. Economic Fizz 7.4. The Widowmaker 8.6. 12's Poseidon. El Baracho 14.0. Steve, closest I got was Editor de Geet.
I just thought this was a very straightforward race. he's a really tough, likable horse who jumps well on the front end. And he goes a proper gallop, and that'll put everyone under pressure. And people will point to the fact that he's got a big weight, but every time it's easier to carry big weights against lower grade horses than it is to carry a lightweight against higher grade horses. It's been proven fact. And Editor De Geet, it just will go off in front and win. He loves Cheltenham. He ran really well, went fourth in the Grand Annual on heavy ground, but he's got that win from the November meeting here last season, where he beat Stolen Silver and on good ground. And Stolen Silver came back in the spring and won the Grade 2 at Cheltenham. So I just think everything's in his favour. He could easily develop into a better than a handicapper. He could easily be a champion chase contender.
Yeah, I guess the thing that confuses it, Willie Mullins doesn't traditionally tend to send too many to this meeting. He's got Dad's Lad here, Dees.
Yeah, and that was one of the main angles I think really when I was looking at Dad's Lad is that I don't think he sent any over last year. And Dad's Lad he's been kind of progressive this summer. I know, like, back in too many summer jumps horses, but he seemed to improve with his racing from when he won at Limerick in July. Like he won 3 in a row, and one was on the flat. But I just like his. I like a lot of things about him. I liked everything about him, and you know, like Editor De Geet has the weight. That was something I was looking at, but I think he'll do well to give this horse over a stone. I think they'll be close. So I'm just backing Willie to have him ready. And I hate saying like he's not going over for the fresh air, like, but William Mullins doesn't really run horses at this meeting or at this time of year, so he must be ready to go. So I'm happy enough to have a small bit on him.
And Charlie?
Yeah, same. I mean, look, Editor De Geet is a very, very fast horse, but there's a lot of pace in here as well. And I just wondered if he might get harried a lot, you know, as in I can't. Sometimes I suppose you do get these races where there seems to be loads of pace and then there ends up with none, but there just seems a lot of horses that want to be up there. Like Dad's Lad has been patiently ridden through the summer. Like Dee said, I think there is mileage still in his mark, and the fact Willie Mullins is sending him over to capitalise on some decent ground before we get a change, I think is notable. And yeah, I just was trying to look for a closer in this because I just thought there was heaps of pace, and Editor De Geet might struggle to have it too easy in front.
Okay, that is a tricky little 2-mile handicap chase, and then the 3-mile handicap hurdle coming up next, the 350 at Cheltenham. Prices are as follows. Botox Heart is 6.2. These prices will compact a bit as the market fills up. Shoot First 7.2, Panic Attack 8.8, Antoyera is 8.4, Salvador Ziggy 9.6, Perrin 11.5, Lieutenant Highway. Did they leave you out too? Which is the horse that Deasy fancies. You said if it's not very soft, so you should be all right there, Dees.
Yeah, he is a horse that I know that he prefers good ground. He kind of always has. He was a very good novice there a few years ago. He beat a few decent horses in his novice season, and I saw him now. He ran at Chepstow there a couple of weeks ago behind Nappers Hill, and he finished upside like Broomfield Borg and Lord Basley. He wasn't too far off Nappers Hill either. He just wasn't quite getting there, but thought it was a very good run. And I mean, if Broomfield Borg or Lord Baddesley were in this race, they'd probably be very close to the top of the market. So I thought that his price is quite generous, and I'm happy enough to have a win place bet off him. Although there was a few more in this noise up there as well, but I think I'll stick with him as long as the ground isn't gone soft, which I don't think it will be.
Charlie?
I thought this was really trappy, so it's a very small bet for me. I went with Panic Attack, win and place. So I was fourth in this race last year, and then was very consistent through the season. Won at Cheltenham, beat Eglantine de Soy in April, and then backed that up with a good run at Haydock on that the Swinton Hurdle card where he finished second to Romeo Brown. She did, who was enterprisingly ridden. She's a 6-year-old as well, and I just think there might be still a little bit more to come. And like I say, she ran well in this race last year, so I'd have thought she'd be tuned up, which, I mean, sometimes they're not always in these sort of contests, but it's a small bet for me. I thought it was really tricky, this race.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting it out. Although Scandibird piqued my interest at a massive price, previous course winner, but no, leaving it alone. Steve.
Yeah, I can't pronounce this horse. Antalya, I expect.
And Taylor.
Thank you, Dees. It's the horse trained by John Joe O'Neill, ridden by John Joe O'Neill, and has been a winning machine. Won 7 handicaps last season, which is quite an incredible thing to do. Started off at rated 94 and is now 136. But I don't think this horse has stopped winning yet. One of the few defeats last season was second to Marie's Rock at Kempton, and obviously Marie's Rock went on to win Grade 1. So the form is just very, very good. Loves decent ground and goes well after a break. So it hasn't run since May, but it's got an impeccable record when returning from a break of 100 days or more. So I just think everything is in this horse's favour. And going up to 3 miles seemed to bring out more improvement. Won at Haydock back in April. Missed most of the winter, presumably because of the soft ground. And then came back with that Haydock win. And I just thought at Cartmel, the track wasn't really to his liking. And getting it at Cheltenham would be fine. And so, yeah, I thought this horse would be favourite. And how do you say it?
And Taylor.
And Taylor. What does it mean?
The Taylor.
Oh, wow. Very good.
I think.
He could tell us anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely anything.
Yeah. It means 2020 cricket.
One Ireland.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Steve's favourite.
Sorry, it means Taylor.
It does. 2020 is Steve's favourite version of cricket, incidentally.
He wouldn't score a half century in that, I dare say. Be a bit steady away, wouldn't he? For that
Oh, the blocker Jones. Right. We're done at Cheltenham, aren't we? So if we've got any other bets there, it's on the running order. I should probably just look at that, shouldn't I? Yes, other Cheltenham bets. Right, I've got one, Ash Tree Meadow, who's doubly declared actually, but runs in the 210 today. So that's coming up pretty quickly. 210 today, Ash Tree Meadow. I really like this horse. It was one of my horses to follow for the year, but as in going into the spring, because I think he's a sort of horse that will be. I think this will probably be his last race before he gets put away for the spring, and he might just fall off people's radars. So I think he'll be interesting going forward, but I still think he'll win today. Ash Tree Meadow in the 210 at Cheltenham on Friday. Deasy, you've got one.
I actually like Auchenrisk in that race against Ash Tree Meadow, Chris Gordon's horse. I can see him. I can see him having a good race there. And
Shearer, good. Thanks, excellent.
Yeah, I think he'll give your boy a race. And Shearer in the first race on Saturday. Thought he was very good. I thought he was very good the last day. Very well punted. They obviously think he's a good horse, and I think he can follow that up here because I'm not too sure about that John McConnell horse of that. So Shearer in the first race on Saturday.
Shearer in the first on Saturday. Best Cheltenham bets. Charlie, your best Cheltenham bet.
What did I put up as my best Cheltenham bet?
Dad's lad.
Dad's lad. Yeah. Dad's lad. Mullins bringing one over. Quick, taking advantage of the quick ground, and like I say, loads of speed in that race, which I think will suit him.
Full of confidence.
Yeah, exactly. That confident I'd forgotten.
Dees, your best Cheltenham bet.
I'm playing it very safe and just going with Pied Piper because I think he'll win, basically.
Well, my best bet is Pied Piper as a back to lay. But so I just want that safety net. So I think the best way to play it, back him at 1.98. I think he'll travel all over this field. And if you can get out at 1.5, then that's what I'd be looking to do. Possibly even risk it a bit shorter, because my slight niggle is that he'll blow up a bit. And I just want that insurance there. But I still think he'll win. Maybe lay off half of it. That's how I play it anyway. Steve.
The Taylor. Antalya.
Oh, yes.
Is that how it is, Dees? Antalya.
Taylor.
Anti-law.
Man, lovely.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
It's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce Gordon Elliott's bumper horse today? Tom?
Oh, you told me. I forgot. Is it? Well, I've forgotten what it's called. Is it called Army? Something like that.
No. I'll be
What's it
watching
called?
later. No, I'll be watching later.
You told me, and you told me what it means. It means Meath.
Mead, yeah. And V.